Hi, everybody. Welcome to Andromeda Celestial Gateway. Thank you so much for joining us, having a happy Friday night. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about the higher mind, our thoughts, how we can be meditative, how we can be good stewards over our mind, body, and spirit as a single, even though we're layers and onions, it's like how we are a single divine unit of the source of all. All right, you guys, let me say hi to Mandy, Moo,
Mandy,
Teresa. Of course, you're in the chat. Steve Clark, hi, Steve. And we got Kelly, Lori's sister.
Hi, Kel.
Yeah. And Field Guy 316.
Hey, Field Guy.
Hi.
Hi.
See who else? I don't want to miss anybody. Lucky Stone.
Lucky Stone.
Hi, Lucky.
Oh, Gaza Cav. Hi.
Hi, Gaza.
Hi, Gaza. And then we have, let's see, let me make sure I got everybody in here. I think.
Oh, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi,
Michelle. My sister, Michelle.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'm burning a little Palo Santo.
Nice.
I've got Marsha Price's little candles lit for us.
Ooh.
I've got the abundance, and I have the protection candle.
Ooh, I like those.
Yeah, and I have her triple goddess amethyst necklace on, and then I got her Hamza necklace. And then I got her flower of life.
Oh wow, I haven't seen all that.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I haven't opened them because I have a feeling that they're going to become gifts. So so I kept this one necklace, but I always like to gift,
Yeah,
whenever I have a lot, I like to gift out things. So yeah. All righty. So
I do too.
Brenda is able to join us this evening. Brenda, would you like to share a few words of wisdom with us, please?
Well, I thought this was really cute. I wanted to read this to you when you're talking about medication and tonight and all these things. So it says, there comes a time in your life when you walk away from all the drama and people who create it. You surround yourself with people who makes you laugh, forget the bad, and focus on the good. Love the people who treat you right. Pray for the ones who don't. Life is too short to be anything but happy. Falling down is a part of life. Getting back up is living. So that's it. And that's from Jose Harris.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
That was beautiful. Smart guy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Love that.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet because I'll tell you, what's that one song? You remember back in the 2000s? It was that song that says, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Me too. Yeah. Oh, I wore that one out. Yeah, that's a good one.
Didn't that song
like those bozo balloons you used to hit when you were a kid? And they drop down and then they come back up.
Coming back. Yeah.
Didn't that song end up in Shrek? Didn't they use it in Shrek?
Yeah.
I thought one of the Shrek films. Yeah.
Sure. I think, but I'm not sure.
I always take
Tub
note
Thumper,
of
Chumbawamba, Tub
What does
Thumper.
Aussie Bird have over there? What's our Aussie Bird have? What are you doing?
She's got
I'm sharing my flowers with everybody.
They're beautiful.
They're
Are those
absolutely
daisies?
There's chrysanthemums, the mum, because it's the Mother's Day flower. The zinnia, and the this is tansy, which you can eat, rejuvenator.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Lovely.
They're beautiful. I bet they smell amazing too.
Hey, Alex.
Very feminine.
Hi, Alex Fox. Good to have you with us.
Yeah.
Hi,
I
Alex.
haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
Yes.
So good to see you. You guys, I'm so done with this season right now. I'm through with this. Raise your hand if you're done with this moon.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Can I raise
done.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Hey, I have a request, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Our new sister Khadija from Egypt. She's got the COVID, she thinks, pretty much. So she's on a self regimen. She's very smart with the herbs and the teas and
good, yes.
The lotus flower, and
I sent you a copy, Jules, of what she's treating herself with in case you want to chat with her. But she's probably fast asleep right now because of the time there. She's had to sleep a lot. So she's going to be watching this show. And I just wanted to let her know we love her.
Well,
And
so
sending you
much
lots of love and healing, Khadijah. Thank
Yes.
Absolutely.
You're
And
gonna
if
get
she can,
better.
Yeah.
Huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I said,
So,
there's treatments too that are really, suggested and work, like the one that, the ex-pres took. So look into
Yeah.
getting some treatment if possible, because these things are working quick and fast and efficiently. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
look into
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
She's pretty
Yes.
ornery too, so I don't
Yes.
think it's gonna.
That'll
I
help
think
a
she'll-
whole
Yeah,
bunch.
She talked
Yeah.
about
Just
frankincense
stubborn me
and
down.
That's true.
and
she did.
eucalyptus and frankincense. She spoke about the other day. So
Mhm.
She's using that, and she's using
Yeah.
the lotus elixir.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And
So-
Rose, like she mentioned all of it. It's kind of like she
Yeah.
said she was going to get it and she created it. Now she's going to show you how to get rid of it.
I love it.
Yep.
Be an
Absolutely.
example. Be an example.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Jules. Absolutely.
Welcome, William Swan, again. Good to see you again,
Oh, hi,
William.
William. Good
Hi,
to have you
William.
with us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
A truth
Hi.
seeker.
Truth
Hi,
seekers
truth
in the house.
Hi, Truth
Always a
Seeker.
pleasure to have Truth Seeker. Yep.
Cajun.
Mary
Cajun
Wins,
Queen.
Cajun Queen.
Hi.
Hi,
Oh my
sweetheart.
God.
Hi, Cajun
Hi,
Queen.
Cajun.
Hey, sweetheart.
Sending
I
you so
am
much
loved.
love.
You
Yeah,
are loved.
that's right. We are love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love
So
you,
much.
Cajun.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Sister
Okay,
Mary. Mary wins too. Okay. Wow.
Hi,
Mhm.
Mary Wins.
Well, they're
And-
just gonna
and-
keep rolling in. So
Yeah, Vicinia, am I saying that right? Vicinia,
Hi.
Vicinia.
Tupua?
Vicinia.
Vicinia,
Welcome.
that's pretty.
Mhm.
Ah. Looks
That's
like
awesome.
Very
she's
pretty
And
name.
is that-
Genevieve.
Yep.
Hi.
From us and Vive. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
pretty
well,
name.
welcome. Welcome. I love
Genevieve.
your name.
Genevieve. Genevieve. Pronounce Vicinia's name there, Genevieve.
Yeah.
Genevieve.
Oh,
I love saying that.
Yeah. I love
got a-
saying that. Yeah.
we got a couple of French people I've just met that have moved to the town. It's so amazing. The tech
Oh,
people
yeah.
that are coming. Oh,
Mhm.
God, it's
cool.
exciting.
Right on.
Wow. Didn't you say you had some people from France that have
Yeah,
moved
yeah,
into your
yeah.
area?
Yeah, they have. I met one of the guys was playing music in the street, and I walked up, and the wife started talking to me. And she said, "Oh, he's from France, and I'm from Brisbane, and we've just moved to the area." I go, "Well, welcome."
Wow.
That's awesome.
And then another woman walked into the shop when I was in there yesterday helping out with Anita, and she said, "I've been here 3 months." I said, "Oh, well, welcome."
That's
so
great.
cool.
You know, she said, "No one else has welcomed me yet." I said, "Oh, well, one year."
Yeah,
Yeah.
one year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank
It
God.
was so-
Thank God for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
doubt.
From out of state, we have someone from Las Vegas, Louisiana, and
Oh, wow.
I think that New York. We've got people from everywhere. Georgia. I mean,
Mm.
they've been here from everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
It's
Tennessee's a
called the
beautiful
shift.
state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Called the shift.
Yeah. Move into a better place that's
Yeah.
better for you. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
There's
That's
a
it.
lot of that going on the past
Mhm.
couple of years. A lot of
Yeah.
people
It's good.
shifting places and
Mhm.
new adventures and new ways of
Yeah.
living and thinking and being
Yeah.
Mm.
and you know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's send some energy to our sister Mandy Moon too. She's been getting a
Yeah.
lot of downloads and a lot of information, and
She has.
and her mind's just going with it, and she's always here for all of us. So Mandy, take some time. She's in the chat room. We love you,
We love you,
and we're
Mandy.
sending you lots of energy, sweetheart.
That goes for
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, no
Everybody.
doubt. Anybody watching, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who
Yes.
needs prayers and support.
Love,
Yeah.
love.
And a hug
You.
too.
And a big old hug.
Yeah.
Big squeeze.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge hug. Look how big that huge hug
Mhm.
is.
I just don't know how to,
Yeah.
I do not know how to self hug. You know that? I really.
Oh, I do it all the time.
You gotta
I do
I
too.
do it all the time.
yeah,
My shoulders aren't set for that.
get it good.
I just don't know how to self hug. That's weird.
You
Yeah.
gotta keep practicing then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand in the mirror. Stand in the mirror and
I
do
mean,
it.
is it like booby exercises when you were younger? You know how Remember when you were a teenager? Don't tell me you didn't do it.
I did. It worked too good now because it's like, okay, you can stop.
Well, you know,
now.
the guys, they build up their pecs muscles with everything.
Yeah.
Girls did their, what do they call them?
I must.
Yeah, your
I
pecs.
must-
They're still
I
your
must
pecs.
increase
Must
my
include.
butt.
Yeah, that's it. The pecs.
So what do you do?
the
You do the
pectorals.
opposite to hug yourself? Is that it?
Actually, this is an
I have
excellent
short
stretch for
arms.
your shoulders, your traps, your upper trap, your trapezius
Crystal,
muscles.
I have no arms. They're like, I have these hands.
Oh my God, you have T-Rex
You're
arms?
like the T-Rex. Yeah.
I have a T-Rex wider.
Ah, there you go. See?
Arm.
Oh
Look at the
my
arm.
goodness,
T-Rex
Teresa.
wider. I've got short, stubby arms.
Seriously, I sucked at girls' basketball. I sucked at girls. I was real fast and I could bounce the ball, but I couldn't shoot it because my arms were like
Oh, I love basketball. Yeah.
a volleyball.
Cutest T-Rex ever.
Yeah, volleyball. I loved all sports. Yeah.
Yeah, I should dress
Just
up
like
in that
Trina. She was out there
T-
playing
that
sports.
T-Rex costume, that T-Rex that comes on the video every now and then on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
that, and he's walking. That's me.
That's so funny.
Well, then you've got some
Oh,
kind of a
jeez.
gift, then, haven't you, Teresa?
Mhm.
The most stretching I get is when Ruby sees another dog or a squirrel,
Oh yeah.
and then the leash goes like this, and then I have arms.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Oh, God, that's
We got
funny.
the T-Rex
Anyway.
syndrome. Big heads, little arms. It's all good.
Shorts. Yeah, yeah.
Cutest ever.
I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
still gonna love myself anyway.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
There you
right.
go.
There you
That's
go.
why we love
That's it.
ourselves. We
That's
can
right.
embrace all those little designs
Quirks,
that just
all
make
those
you
little-
Uh-huh.
special. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes. The
I'm
beauty
sorry, I
of
couldn't help it.
It's all right.
Well, you look
good.
at the word individual, it's individual.
it. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
divide you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We're all individuals. We all have our
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
quirky bits,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
We just
So we're not
embrace
beauty
them.
of it.
You know.
That's
Yeah,
it. We can't
that
all
is the
be the
beauty.
same.
That's right.
Would it be boring?
Yes,
Oh,
wouldn't
I'd
it?
be so bored.
Yeah, it would be boring, wouldn't it?
Could you imagine the six of us all up here the same?
It
Oh,
would so be boring, right?
Yes. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
boring.
Look at Brenda. Brenda's like, no.
I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we have a short little video to play. We're going to be talking about meditation and mindfulness. There's 5 questions that we want to ask everybody on the panel and see how you deal with this. But it seems like there's a lot of people out there right now that are either new to this, or they're adjusting to it, or they're just not quite, there yet. And so we just wanted to do a quick kind of refresher for you. I got a 5-minute video for you to watch. This gal is just talking about enlightenment, basically for dummies. And it's just a quick little vid that talks about what it means to be enlightened. And I thought this would be a great refresher, and then just something to kind of lead us off for discussion. And so we'll share that with you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Get this going. Awesome. Here we go. Nice lady.
So what I want to talk about is enlightenment, because there's a lot of talk about it. The awakening, the ascension process, the shift, rising in consciousness. Like, what is that? And I know there's all kinds of books about it and films about it, and people are talking about it, and it's super exciting. And it is something that's happening. And I guess the easiest way I can explain that I understand it is it's a rising above where we've been. And in a way, we've always been doing that, because it's another word for evolution. But we're coming into this place where we're seeing that we're not the problems we create, and that we do have these unlimited resources and solutions if we tap into them. The same thing Einstein talked about, that the problems cannot be resolved at the level we created them at. And so we've created a lot of messes here on Earth. And I think we can all agree to that, with the environment, with our government, with education, with religions fighting each other. I mean, it's just kind of gotten ridiculous and out of hand. And so now it's time for us to really step up and tap into our own wisdom and rise above the problems we've created so that we can become this more united together family that we actually already are. So it's like awakening to something that already exists. And in order to do this, we're going to have to change some of the ways that we've been. And one of the things that I'm aware of that really helped me was I got guidance a long time ago to stop listening to certain things. And one of those was television. And I know that's a hard one for a lot of people because people have their shows that they love. But I just got this clear guidance that it came with the news to turn that off because it scared me, to be honest. And I sensed that it was slanted in a particular way, which I've come to learn that that's accurate. It's slanted in a way to keep us in fear and to keep us medicated and shopping. And which is what
So
companies
true.
really want. And I don't want to get into the whole talk, but and then I learned, to stop watching television because I saw that it was kind of sucking my energy.
Mm.
And I still had a few shows for a while, and that's totally fine. I'm
Yeah.
not putting on TV watchers here, but I had to get quieter. And then one of the other things I learned was to stop listening to chatter like on the radio when I was in the car, because what I realized is life was so noisy and I couldn't hear anything inside. I just kept hearing all this opinion and chatter and loudness. And teaching is another thing that really helped me quiet things down because it was so loud in the classroom that when I left the classroom, I just wanted solitude and quiet. And as parents, you probably understand this as well, where you just want no noise. So that would be one of the first things I would recommend, to tune in more to your inner voice so that you can get in alignment with what's already happening in the world, which is this awakening or this rising in consciousness. And most of it really revolves around stepping out of the drama, stepping out of the reaction, out of the emotional pull to debate and argue and give your opinion and fight, because all of that is a waste of time. There are actually no solutions in doing that. It's a glorified way for the ego to get power. And so what you can do is just start to tune out more of the outside world, the things that distract your attention, and tune in more through meditation, through journaling, through quiet time, through prayer, just through silence. Like there's so much power in listening to the silence. And so with that, I want to just close this message for today, and I'll talk more about it. But the awakening is happening. We are awakening to the greater powers that are inside of us. And it's a super exciting time to be alive on the planet. And yes, it's painful. It's painful what we're breaking free from. The structures that have been set into place now are having to shift and make room for everyone. And it's like a birthing process. And so it's labor pains, growing pains, stretch marks. We're getting them. And so we have to really just trust the process and do our best to go inside to that greater, higher self that can really help guide us through all of this. And it's really a privilege to share with you what I'm learning on the journey. And I'm just grateful to be able to express who I am and hopefully uplift one or two of you. I love you. Bye.
Oh, what a beautiful energy.
Yeah.
Are you sure that wasn't
Absolutely.
Stevie Nicks' like sister?
I know, right? She's so
Kind of
cute.
gives the
And that
Stevie
was
Nicks
done.
vibes.
Yeah, you guys, in 2012. That was done in 2012. I thought that was interesting. And
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
we've
That
been on
was
this journey.
timeless.
Mhm.
That's when
She
a
was
lot of
tapped
people were
into a
waking
timeless
up.
statement.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Brian had talked about that,
Yeah.
Period.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm curious, when did he start opening up? When did you notice a shift and change in him?
Breathing, Jules. Got that sound, Jules. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there you
Well,
go.
really, I really started noticing more when Brian started waking up in the last couple of years. But he woke up before that. It just wasn't coming out, until his shows. I saw it more in his shows. And then on the last year, it was really strong. He was real strong in his
And
space, I would call
gnosis
it.
and knowing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, I think
Yeah.
we all kind of we're in that space where you're not, you start talking about this stuff, especially to family, and you get the look,
Yeah, and I had that
and they're
look.
like, what the hell is
What's going
I
on
don't-
with you?
My mom was like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, keep doing it. Cause
Would you
I'm
say,
liking the
Brenda,
change.
you had the look? You're saying you had that for a
I
while?
do too. I mean, he was talking about all these things. And of course, we're all programmed as they talk about. You go to church and you listen to
Yeah.
the preacher. And then I sit there now. We still go, but I sit there and I have all these other thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
That's what
Good.
Brian had taught me.
Mm,
So
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
That's great.
It's hard to
It
go,
is.
but I like to socialize. So
Yeah. There's a lot of good things about going to church. It is a
Oh, there
social
is.
event.
Yeah, the socializing is
Mhm.
excellent. It's just as long as you, on the inside of yourself, claim your sovereignty. You
Mhm.
are a sovereign being, So just as long as you're aware of that, have fun.
Mhm.
That's true.
Enjoy,
Mhm.
enjoy fellowship.
And
Yeah.
as Brian said, he said, question everything. And I do.
Yes.
Mhm.
Good.
When I listen to this, I question it. So, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
right. He's right.
Yeah, he did
I
say
think
that.
I think he struggled with religion, with the whole
He did.
salvation part of it, and he found such a freedom in knowing that he was directly a part of that, and I think that changed him, because he didn't actually like believe in this God thing anymore. He actually knew it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
He knew it.
Because he would go to church with his grandmother. And
Mhm.
I knew he didn't like that because I think, I forget what it was, their wholeness or something. I'm not really sure. But he quit it. He went for a while because of his grandmother, Zelda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go no more. And then, of course, that kind of bothered me because I still wasn't questioning things
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
because of his life that he had led before, and I wanted everything to be perfect for him now. And, he had his own life, and he brought me in. He brought me into the
Yeah.
fold.
Yeah.
Because there's a spiritual church. There's a spiritual
Yes.
church. If you're
Of
of a
self.
relationship between you and everything
Mhm.
about you divinely created from source, that's where the church is.
Mhm.
That's where the relationship is. Everything else is just these reflections of
Yeah.
your condition, of your
Mhm.
thinking, of your aspects of yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's, I go back and
'Cause-
I listen to his videos all the time, and his
Me too.
knowledge, I was just shocked. When I listened to him before, I would listen to him, but now I really listen to him because of his
Good.
message, his message that he had.
Isn't
You're on a
it?
path of deeper and deeper inner gnosis revealing. You are what we call, you are in the apocalypse, the greatest revealing of the greatest truths.
Mhm.
Welcome. It's so good to have you with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
And you're
You know what
definitely
I was.
warriors if you're here.
Yeah,
Like, you're
I
a
was just-
warrior.
Yeah, you are.
I was just
Sorry,
talking the
Trina.
other day. That's okay. I was just talking the other day about how Brian, like before he left us, he left so many profound messages and
Mhm.
signals of like everything from, if you're done with this, so you raise your hand. I mean,
Yes.
unbelievable. And then like making me do the Milky Way call. I mean, there
Yes.
were so many things. And then when he passed, like the timing of that,
Mhm.
everything was just, what a master. I mean, wow, he figured
Really.
it out. It was so
did.
profound to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I still love to go back and watch his videos because you learn so much still.
You do.
Yeah, no
from
doubt.
what
Yeah.
he talked about.
Oh,
I just
yeah,
want to
I
say
do.
something with a word.
Yeah.
A word,
Sure.
right? Church, you are in the center of that. Look at the letters.
You.
Mhm.
You are.
You are.
You.
Yeah.
And you look at, you see the first letter is C. So
Mhm.
C, right? The
Mhm.
next letter is a H, and it looks, a capital H is a ladder. Right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
see the ladder, you are, see the ladder.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you are the
Yeah.
one that's now, you are the one climbing to that higher pinnacle at the top of the church. Now, one of the signs that the church was crumbling, though, was when Christchurch fell. Down at New Zealand, the spire fell off that church. So that told you that physical form of the church was crumbling since that year of 2010 or 2011. Now, I walked Christchurch for 6 weeks, and I knew prior to that happening, I got energy in my body telling me that this place was going to shift. And I come home and told people, and they said, "Oh, you know, crazy."
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it happens.
And then of course it happened, and I thought, because I said to Ian, I kept walking, I said, "This place is going to erupt, babe. I can feel it." So that's when prior to going to New Zealand, that's when I first felt energy in my feet. So that's a pivotal, back that far is when I first, in this shifting moment, what we're going to talk about is in your knowing. So, and it was just giving me a different view on a particular issue that changed me looking at everything from a different view.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say about the whole subject is when I was in my crash and burn moment, and I've been through it, someone just gave me a different angle to look at it, and that's how I've pulled myself along continually, is keep turning until you look at it, the view that suits you.
Yep. Perception. It's all about perception. Yep.
So thank you, guys.
So everybody, what is enlightenment? What is enlightenment? When the mind's free from suffering. Gautama Buddha said that, and I just thought that was amazing. When the mind's free from suffering. So you're not dealing with the monkey mind. You're not having things just constantly thinking negative thoughts and rolling this over and over and over and just continuously, having those types of things going on. You got to control that. So how do you hold no thoughts? I mean, these are kind of the basics of enlightenment in my mind. These are the first things you start working on. And this is kind of what I went through with Eric. And he helped me actually put these questions. He's got 5 questions, and he wants to know from each panel member, how do you hold no thoughts? And Crystal, I thought we'd start with you first because you're dang good at this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I do want to admit, I did go through a lot of mental suffering because of a lot of the traumas and programming and being an empath, taking on the suffering of the world on my shoulders. And, my own life path where I made all these mistakes and I've done awful, terrible choices and I've hurt people along the way, so I carry that. And people had hurt me, but I'd hurt others as well. And so I carried that guilt. And I thought that there was honor in carrying that guilt, because that's kind of what the world that I grew up in kind of reinforced.
Yeah, I
that,
agree.
Yeah, you should feel guilty for being such a bad person, But I spent many late nights with the monkey mind, with the wheels turning and the thoughts turning like a freight train. We're just keep coming and keep coming. But I'm glad to report that I no longer do that.
That's
And
awesome.
I no longer do that to myself. The first step was forgiveness of others and of myself. That's the first step, is forgiveness. The second step was to just go out and listen to the breeze. Go and listen to the ocean. Go listen to the birds. Go listen to nature. Because nature always leads me into a silence. And when I stepped away from nature, say I'm coming inside the house and doing other things, I would replace those sounds with a hum. I would just inside of my mind.
Like a om.
Like a om. Yeah.
But your own little flare. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, the last step for me was just let it all go. Either you're going to make 2 choices. You're going to continue to suffer, or you're going to love yourself and proclaim the end of your personal suffering.
I love that.
That's only 2 choices. So make your choice and choose wisely. because, you know, are you going to love yourself like from every fiber of your being of who you are, all the mistakes, all the quirks, all the stupidity, yes, you've got to love it all. You've got to forgive it all. You've got to love it all. And then just let yourself be free to just be.
Yeah.
You know, just be.
That's
It's okay.
awesome.
You're a human being, not a human doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And when you think that way, it keeps you grounded. You're not thinking about the past all the time, and you're not thinking about the future. It
No.
definitely grounds you.
no.
Trina, how about you? How do you hold no thoughts? Or do you?
You know, that's a great struggle for me. Like my best, most powerful meditations used to be like when I was riding my dirt bike or driving a car, you know, or
Yeah,
actively doing something, because my mind likes to be busy, but I can do multiple things at one time. So for me, when the one of the most quietest parts of my mind is activated when I'm doing focused doing something like driving or, you know, cleaning or whatever. But that puts me into a state of flow. And I think that just being in that flow and being in a rhythm with the physical world and knowing how to do all of that very easily, I can let my mind go. And that's where it goes into the places where I can hear from any questions I have. I just ask and I can hear the answers, or I get a thought, or this is where the imagination kicks in. Because like I said, I've just always operated very well while multitasking. And a lot of people are that way. But for me, like the stillest place I could ever get was when I realized that there was no me in essence, that everything was made of exactly the same thing, and that it was all just the same thing. And when nothing was anything, then it could be completely still.
That actually makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. That was my still place. Yeah.
I love that. Awesome.
I think some people, I know I did at first, had a hard time finding that quiet place within myself. My mind was always racing. So if it wasn't worry and frustration over finances and all the little to-dos and task lists that I made to manage all that, and then it's almost like having hyperactive disorder of some kind. You know, it's like I would pick up a gardening project and then put it down, and then I'd go bake a bunch of food and I'd put the food down. The food would burn while I was doing something else because I just couldn't quiet down. I was binge watching TV shows because it was escaping reality. I didn't know how to create my own happiness. So I found it through binge watching TV programs, you know, and all this was because I was taken out of commission and put in on the bench, so to speak, with a disability. So you're restricted anyway. So you try to create happiness. But the happiness was always within me, and finding a higher purpose outside of myself. And that's what did it. And you all helped bring that out of me. Brian, Michelle, others, Scotty, Rocky, all of them, Audrey, everybody just helped bring that out. But if I hadn't have known you guys, I may have just continued. And what happened is, it was in a cycle. And then what came from that was, and this is what our title of the show is, the physical mind manifesting. And it can either manifest really great things if you're in touch with your intuition and your higher mind, or if you're still closed, it can manifest really bad things. And so it's like a boomerang or a domino effect where you get so frustrated and so upset. And I was so trapped that I saw no end at the light of the tunnel. And there's so many of us that do that. My own sister, you know, she's gone now. My own niece, she's gone now, because it is true what you put out there, you will get back. And that used to upset me. That phrase, I used to get mad at folks like you. Both in the Christian community and the non-Christian community.
Truth often does that to people.
It can piss you off.
Yes.
It pissed me off because I'd be like, what am I doing? I have done nothing but humanitarian causes most of my life. I have been a caretaker. I've done Special Olympics. I've done Easter seals. I've done clowning for kids. I've done children's parties. I've been a school bus driver. I mean, I've done nothing but give to society and service-oriented type work, Coast Guard, auxiliary Coast Guard, all these things. And it's like, what am I doing wrong?
What did you give to yourself?
It's not like I'm robbing a bank or stealing a car or getting, so I started drinking. That was my first response is I give up. I'm just drink. Well, that put out even more crap. And so then I got more problems and my circle got smaller and smaller and smaller. And so to the point where a lot of people come to, and that is just take yourself out. Just take yourself out. Why bother anymore?
So you were always thinking of others, always doing for others, but you weren't doing much for yourself?
No.
Not really. See? Sometimes I would have things. I'd have things like jewelry or a nice fancy car.
No.
I'd have things. Collect
and that doesn't make us happy.
No, it doesn't.
And I
I was going to say, did you have any friendships? Did you have any love in your life? Did you have anything that was authentic, or was everything just fake? Was everything just superficial?
That's a good question, Trina.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and yes and yes. I did have friendships that meant a lot to me, and I had a couple of intimate relationships that meant a lot to me, but I pushed it all away. I had the pattern was to push it away. The pattern was to find a reason not to like it, find a reason not to want it, find a reason to be angry about it.
Resist love.
To resist
self-sabotage.
Yep. Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
Yep.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-sabotage.
Yep.
There you go. Yep, Crystal. That's
so you end up at 60 years old with a life that was big. It's now very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to deal with what I created. And you can't blame everybody else for the choices that your physical mind made when it wasn't aware.
Mm-hmm.
You may have been a good person. I may have been a very good person in many, many ways. Mm-hmm. I never ever did anything to hurt anybody deliberately anyway that I'm aware of. It's just
that's the subconscious mind, though. This is what we got to find a way to get into that part, because it's driving 95% of our experience and we don't have access to it.
Right.
So, and this is where we literally, these are where these things manifest. It's the only place they can.
Mm-hmm.
Learning the power of what we are is, I think, our next level of this enlightenment. It's going to be actually getting our hands dirty and starting to actually see the work. See the potentials of working with the 12 cranial nerves in your brain and restructuring your body,
reprogramming.
Absolutely, down to a cellular level. These are the things that we're going to have to start working on, and try again until you succeed, because when is the day you're going to be able to unlock your power? Because I've seen this, guys. I've seen people do miraculous things. It's all about a certain belief in yourself. It's, and when is that lucky day going to be your day? It'll be when you pick, when you choose it. But bottom line is, never give up on that potential, because it's there. It is there.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've learned over this past year and a half, and especially intensely this past 6 months, is I'll never go back to that point of wanting. I mean, I've come close in the past month or so. The old patterns, that old thinking, you lose connection. How do you keep that higher mind switch on all the time when you're living in a 3D world and there's all these externals? You've got to keep your mind away from the externals. And I get help. I go to Lori, I go to Michelle, I go to Crystal, I talk to Jules, it's that fellowship with this spiritual family. It's not like I have to do it all the time, but there's times when it gets to be so much that having a Trina to smile at, or Trina, or being on the show, or doing something with you guys, but I'll never go back to that stage where I think my sister and my niece were at.
Right.
In my mind, I'll never go back there because
Mhm.
I know I know that I'm serving a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Yep.
there's meaning, I have significance, and I'm not going to take that out. It's
Right.
just, you're like a child. You want what you want right now.
Right.
And I
Mhm.
can't have what I want, everything that my physical mind wants.
Mm-hmm.
There's a higher mind that has other plans for me and my higher self. Go ahead,
Yep.
Trina. You're downloading. I see it, babe.
Sometimes I see that we run into challenges in our life, especially with our physical avatars, so that we can overcome the lie of how limited we are in our power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've seen you guys do incredible things. I've seen people here. Susie Q was one of them. She was manifesting something, and I was manifesting the same thing. And I didn't get what I wanted, but I was helping her. She got double her portion of what
it's
what
how
she
it always
was doing.
comes for me. Every time I really work on manifesting, it always comes back better than I imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it comes back
Yeah.
for
I'm
you. This
telling-
came back for somebody else.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We
Yeah.
can do that. I mean, you can literally start to build this muscle, manifest a cup of coffee, manifest green lights, manifest parking spots.
Yeah.
Start to work with your power. You literally have to work it. It's like a muscle.
Right.
The more you
Yep.
work it, the easier it is. Just
Mhm.
like intuition, the more you
Practice.
start to pay attention, the more
Right.
you hear. These things are all abilities that we used to
Yeah.
have, and they've been shut off through the magnetic density of
Mhm.
this matrix and all of the programming. And once you get back into like what you were when you were a little kid, you
Yeah.
didn't have any fear.
Yeah.
You basically trusted everybody. Every moment when you woke up in the morning, you were like, wow, what am I going to do in this world today? You had an excitement. Just to be breathing was super cool.
Right.
We've lost all of that through the whole, we got to be grown-ups and we got to buy houses and cars and all this shit that does not make
Yeah,
us happy
everything-
at all.
Yep. Goes
You
right out
know?
the window. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
we really want is this conversations with people we love,
Mhm.
unity, things that we can like be sharing an experience of this beautiful world of matter that we can create. Basically, look at what we can make. We can make anything.
Yep.
Anything.
Yeah,
Anything.
we really can.
Brenda, how about you? Oops, we can't hear you. Oh,
I hear you.
there it is. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to read this little quote by Katrina Bruce. It's one day.
Okay.
One day people will ask you, how did you do it? How did you let it all out? How did you write, speak, and create? And you turn to them and smile and tell them of how all you did to get here, and it was just to show up. So every day, just as you were for that day, you let the message be the message. You commit to the art, found clarity, found purpose, found meaning, found flow, and all you had to do was nothing at all. But nothing at all, just show up as you. So that sounds, like what you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I
love it.
love that.
And for Lucky
And-
Stone, he's saying, my guides are very sad that Teresa does not feel worthy. She can manifest for everyone, but will not allow it to do it for herself. Lucky, I do feel worthy. and I do want it to happen for myself. I think what I was telling the sisters here just before the show went live, I went through something these past few days where I reconnected with my higher self and my through my higher mind. And what I found out is that my physical mind here in my earthly form, in my very limited way, I've been resisting and fighting against what the universe wants from me and what my higher purpose really is, and thinking that the things that I want to get out of here and lead the fun life that I want to live and the ground and do the kinds of things, that's all a desire that I'm not saying I don't deserve it, and I might very well get it someday if the universe says I'm ready for it. But what I've been doing is fighting it like a kid, saying I want, and I'm unhappy. the point is that everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm doing right now, right here in this location. Everything I'm doing, whether I'm isolated or not because of this virus thing or because of finances, are things that I created and I put out there. They've been given back to me for a purpose. And it's to teach me something. I'm supposed to be vibrating at a certain frequency, and I've been fighting it. And so I've been making my own misery. And when I put that energy out there, things get even smaller.
Teresa, I keep hearing you got to shift the vibration from I want to I've received. I already have.
Yes.
I already have. So every time you think of something that you want, you need to think of what it feels like to have it in your hand.
Got it.
I already have. Yeah. Yes. This is going to help you.
And it's finding that gratitude and taking the time. I stopped doing as much meditation. Well, now I'm getting back into my meditation. I was rejecting like my whole life pattern. See, I went back into that physical mind pattern, and so it's got to stay in that higher mind and do the things I'm supposed to be doing to keep myself open, to keep my intuition going. I'm actually very happy right now to be doing this with Andromeda. I'm very happy to be helping some of my brothers and sisters with things that they want to talk about.
Very rewarding.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. So the universe came along, and all of a sudden my stimulus check showed up. Wasn't supposed to. So now Ruby can go to the vet. I can get glasses.
Yes.
Because I need to see and I can't see. And then and I could get some art supplies. And I could get some gardening supplies. So now I'll have my projects.
Yep.
Everything I need is here and within here, but the frustration was coming from not getting what my physical mind wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
My physical mind was fighting.
Yeah.
So when you get to that point, I think now I understand how this works, because that's what caused me to be tunnel vision before. That's what caused me to backslide all those times when I turned to alcohol or I turned to other things to make myself feel fulfilled. It's because I kept resisting my true. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so if you think you've arrived, you've never really 100% arrived, have you? It's a cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I keep hearing? It's like you can't force God to do God's work. You have to have patience. So it's like you're going at these things like, I want them now. I'm going to drive at this. I'm powerful, and I'm going to get what I want. Man, maybe this is what you need to start to learn, is that when you really want something, you really spend some time and see it and focus it and give it with all your heart and soul, and then truly let it go and give it to the creation process. And no, it's only going to show up when it's the universe is ready to manifest it for you. And maybe it's part of letting go of control and starting to learn how to trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Trust.
And 17 seconds is long enough for you to make a thought. You don't have to keep going over it and over it. Just 17 seconds. Put it out in your vortex, put it out in the universe, and hand it over to them, and just trust and believe.
Say, I know.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Jules. Yeah. I'm sorry. Jules, how about you? How do you hold on to no thoughts, or do you?
Oh, well, writing is what probably did it for me, right? And and that was the first time I meditated, was listening to a clock tick if Doug's in the house. And that's how I learnt to meditate. I don't like to give it any name, but it starts in a garden. And, of course, you can't hurry this to grow. You plant the seed, you've got to water it, you've got to nurture it. So that's the same as you. You've got to nurture. Yes, it's in.
Yep.
Yeah. And the one poem that's in there as well is practice imagining a pretty view. I've been through manifesting. I've manifested lots of stuff in my world, but I think it helps to write it down what it is that because I'm looking in my journals now and seeing what I've already manifested. Now that's 12. That's however many years ago. It's unfolded now. I'm being what I wrote about that long ago, right? So when you write it down, you've also let go of whatever it was you're trying to create as well, because you've actually, it's already here because you've written it down. And that's how
Yes.
I've done a lot of my manifesting, is to write it down. And walking's a really good meditative state too. To not call it meditation is just to walk out in nature, and you're communing with that, and you're putting it out as you're stepping. So I've walked a lot, but in the garden does let you let go, because you've got your hands in the soil, and that's a way of getting rid of that energy that's built up in your body as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree with the journaling is really, really important. Yeah, getting your thoughts down. Just start writing whatever comes into your mind. You can get into automatic writing as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to kind of see where you're at, and then you can review it and look at it. You can see the growth. It's really chronicles what you're going through at that moment. Or if you have a problem and you just can't seem to get that problem solved, write it out. Just keep, putting down how you're feeling.
When things just keep coming and coming and coming, it's like you're in a fight and the punches keep coming at you.
Yep.
I just keep rolling with the punches. Like, just let the emotion have its full, like, I don't put any time on anything. If I have to cry for 4 hours, I'm going to have to cry for 4 hours. If I'm mad all day, I'm going to let myself be mad all day with no guilt attached to it.
Right.
No, oh, I'm a bad person if I feel this way, kind of, nothing negative attached to it. Just let those things come up and let it purge and expunge out, and just let it go. Let it flow out for however long it takes. It's just like letting all those things, just let it happen for however long it takes. You just gotta ride. There's a song called "Ride the Storm Out."
Right.
You've got to ride the storm out.
Yeah, basically.
There's a lot of ancestral stuff that's coming to the surface, and it is stored in our cells. So you have to let it rise. So by what comes to mind, if you're in the garden or if you write it down, that's a way of letting it. Not that I like to say release and let go anymore, because you don't want to lease it and let it. So it's about just surrendering and being in the moment.
Yeah, there you go. Being in the now, they call it. Being in the now.
Well, you're also stepping into a knowing. When you can truly manifest it and you can release it, that's because you know that creation is like, it's like going to a restaurant and you sat down and you looked at the menu and you can see all the different things that you can order, and you've chosen what you want, and you put that order into the kitchen, and it's going to come out. So you let it go. This is exactly the same way it works with manifestation. And then every time when you have a thought of the past or a thought that doesn't support where you want to go, you simply just acknowledge that as quick as possible, and then go back to what you ordered and go, oh, it's coming, and know it.
Right.
Because we have to believe our manifestations or they will not manifest. 90%.
My lack of trust interfered with my flow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did not trust that it was going to come.
That's it.
And the things that I was desiring is only so that not only am I receiving, but I'm keeping that flow going between others. Like, I want to receive so I can
keep
the cycle going of that flow. But I wasn't trusting that I was part of that recycling.
Yeah.
Like,
because
you
didn't believe it.
I didn't believe
it. You didn't believe it.
You gotta know. You just know and let it go.
Right. Brenda,
yes.
Can you hold no thoughts? Are you consciously aware of what you're thinking now? Do you?
Well, the listen to everyone talk, I've probably been doing this for a long time. Nature, being out in nature, being in the dirt, in the garden, in the car. I mean, I just I don't think, just let it go. So I'm pretty much the same way with all these people, but not realizing that I was doing this.
Right.
I'm learning.
See, a natural master, and we wonder where Brian got all of his brilliance from. Right.
He said natural.
So true.
Yeah.
All right. So we got another question. How do you keep a steady thought? How do you keep a steady thought, Crystal?
I think that's really interesting. like we mentioned before, it's things like small things like making sure that when I'm doing the dishes, I'm not thinking about the bills I have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm doing my laundry, I'm not thinking about what am I going to make for dinner later. It's just focusing on one task at a time. And then music. Music has helped me learn to keep a steady rhythm and flow. So music is a very like central, what is that word? Centrifugal part
Yeah.
of my life. So music has actually helped me learn to keep a steady rhythm, a steady thought, maintain a note. Because I think of my thoughts as notes and all the different frequencies and notes. Which ones do you want to sustain?
So
Which ones do you want to let them rest?
Right.
You
You're
know?
listening with your mind then. You're just listening to what your mind is going
Yes.
through.
So if I'm doing the dishes, say
Mhm.
at work I'm doing the dishes, and I'm thinking about this is going on in my life, and this is I got to pay rent on Friday, and blah blah blah. I stop and I go, no, and I kind of collapse everything down into
Perfect.
the soap in the water. Did I get the crumb off all of the pots and pans?
I love that.
I'm getting better and better at it. That's why I have these projects where I paint,
Yes.
or I make out the fairy houses, or I do something with my hands.
Mhm.
And I can sit out there for hours, and somebody will go, "Do you realize it's lunchtime? You came out here at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Do you realize it's lunchtime?" I'm like, "No."
Just get lost. Yeah.
Where did the time go? I feel like I've only been sitting here for an hour, because you're that's a way to focus and play that music. Play that.
Mhm.
I play the music,
Yeah.
and it keeps you centered.
Yep.
And that it's all about balance and centering.
Yeah, it really is.
But that question you asked, was that about how do you sustain a thought for the moment, or was it about
How do you keep a steady thought?
A vision?
So for me, that's like when you go to manifest something. How do you maintain that thought where you're in the positive? You're not thinking about the negative. You know, you're recognizing
Feel
that
it.
you're yeah,
Feel
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Feel it.
That's a
You
really good way.
you can't think over feel. So feel is after the thought. So if you can feel it, well, you're in it. You're in it. So, but if you start to lose the feeling, that means you've been distracted. So pull yourself back to the feeling, because that's how it does for me. I feel
it's
it.
about focusing the thought. So if there's something you want to manifest, you're just going to kind of focus on it, but then you don't have to overly do it, like I said before, because when you do that, it trips up the universe. They're like, okay, we got you, we got your back, the universe is here for you.
Yeah.
You know,
like
Greg
do you trust
Braden.
us or what?
yeah, exactly. Like, we got you.
I thought Greg Braden was so profound with the feeling is the prayer, because literally that was like what kicked my manifestation into overdrive. That feeling part of it, like you've already received it, to where you actually feel it like it's real in the reality.
Yeah.
That to me was like the most potent part of the whole process, was once I could get into that part. And then, like I said, the trust that it's done. That was like, holy macaroni. I started manifesting very powerfully at that point.
Michelle Thompson, I learned something from her in that training she was giving. 3 times a day, we wrote down whatever it was we were manifesting, So in the morning, afternoon, evening. And you do that 3 times a day, every day, for like 5 or 7 days. And then there was another exercise where you doubled up on it, or something like that, where you did it more than 3 times a day. But you did it every day, so that your first thought, your thought in the middle of the day, your thought towards the end of the day, and you all were just saying, you put it out there and walk away and trust it. Well, I've done that, but I wasn't trusting it, or I thought I was trusting it. But when I started putting down that thought every day, it's almost like a meditation in of itself.
Absolutely.
It's just an affirmation is what it is.
Yeah. And so, and you say something along with it, universe, I am trusting that you know what I need, and I need and I state it for myself. I know I need this, and I know it will be in the universe's time. And so you say that like 3 times a day, so it actually stays in your
I think it's good to
mind.
ask the universe for help instead of I need and I want.
No need or want, require.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jules?
Well, what I learned with the thought thing, but going with what you girls were saying, many years ago when I was in sales, I did learn how to manifest because I did manifest number 1 in the sales because I learnt from someone who did it to write it on the shower. Like Teresa's just said the 3 times. He said if you might have a shower twice a day, put it above your eye level. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Write your goals on your shower. Well, that's my words. He didn't call it a shower then, but the shower, because you're being a conduit, the water holds memory and you're actually working with that water, right? So you're in the shower and I wrote it on the wall that I was going to become number 1, but aiming for Australia, but I got the world sales. So that took 6 months. That many years back in 2005 or whenever it was. So I learnt through other people coming to talk to us, the Happy Clapper seminars, how to manifest. So I did that also with my husband. Is imagine that we're at whatever island we were going to. Imagine together, love, that I get you there for nothing through me selling all these products. So imagine, can you see the tree? Can you see this? Can you see that? And he's going, yes, yes, yes. Well, I got him there. I sold enough product and we both got there for nothing. So that's how you meant by, these are just steps that I have done and anyone can do it. You can write it down. But you got to know, like at the moment, I've been saying for a long time, I've got an apple in my hand. I think I said that on Wayne's show. And because for all the logical mind people, you go, no, you haven't. Well, I'm not going to tell myself that I haven't got it in my hand because I am manifesting because the fingers start to tingle. Right? So I've been saying that for a long time. So I'm going to be able to manifest, man, I feast on that apple by knowing that. And of course, all the logic people are going to go, no, you haven't. I've had that flown at me for a long time.
I can't wait to watch you do that, Julianne. I can't wait.
She's already eaten it, don't you know that?
I can't wait.
But that's the knowing. You've just got to be in that knowing and no doubt.
I
because the
support
logic, of course, the logic comes in and go, oh, you stupid.
That's so funny.
Right?
You know what's been really huge? What's been really huge that I've noticed just for myself in my journey with this is that I had to step outside of what constructs that I created of my comfort zone, and I had to take risks to do things I would normally never have even ever imagined of doing.
Hello.
Yeah, you've got to step out beyond your normal routine, your normal rote thinking, your normal everything. You've got to like smash the box, you know.
Yep. Hey, Brenda, how about you? Are you able to keep a steady thought?
No. I don't think so. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you about that. I'm going to have to think on that. I want to lose 50 pounds, and I have been trying to do that. I'm saying that every day. Like she said 2 or 3 times. I'm going to lose 50 pounds.
Okay, I'm going to lose. How about I've lost 50 pounds?
I've lost 50.
That's good.
Yeah,
I've lost 50 pounds. And then your conscious mind, will start going, do I really want that cookie right now? No.
Or I am so grateful that I am at my goal weight.
There
you go.
love that
I am so
and that's the other
grateful
thing.
that I'm at my goal weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
attitude of gratitude, baby.
I love that.
I love that.
Brenda,
Right now.
I went through it last year, Brenda. I had to lose 25 pounds, and I did. And it wasn't because I was on a extreme exercise program or eating lettuce. Okay. I was eating, I came up with my own healthy weight plan, and I
Intuitive
decided,
eating.
yeah. So I mapped it out. I had a little spreadsheet. Now get this. This is my physical mind part, had me lay it out on a spreadsheet so that I knew how many, not just calories, but how I was counting my, oh, help me, y'all. I just had a mind.
Proteins.
Sugar,
Thank
yeah.
you. My carbs, sugars, proteins.
Yeah.
And so, and I took it with every food item. I made a little science project out of it for like a month, every meal. So I knew exactly what those totals were every day so that I could see my eating habits. And I chose only the best types of foods, you know.
Mhm. So you focused on that.
I made it a
goal.
science project, and that's how I focused, because you have to look at it for your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. So you have to look.
I've done those things before. It needs a lot of work.
Mhm.
It is.
It
It's-
is.
I think
and then you get used to it, because then you know the
Yeah.
portions, and then
Yeah.
you know how to put your meal together without
And
needing a
that's what it
spreadsheet.
is. It's about portion size. It really is.
It
But
really
I like
is.
chocolate and I like ice cream, so I'm in trouble.
You'll be surprised how little you really actually need in a day to really be healthy and sustain yourself, because the portions here in the United States are
Sure.
huge.
Good point,
Yeah.
Crystal.
Just take
Very
the
good
pork
point.
and cut them down.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
fit 'em in, use your hand as your
Portion control. Yep.
controller.
I like
Yeah,
that.
but you know, that process, you learn so much about how different foods act and interact together, how they
Mhm.
create sugar. It's like, oh
Mhm.
my
Yes.
God, this is how many
Bread.
grams of sugar?
Worst.
How many
Mhm.
grams of sugar? What do you mean I can only have 10 of these sesame chips? You know?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh my God, 5 sesame chips. And I'm like,
Yep.
for the end of the day, I'm like,
Right.
The thing is,
But there's no harm in knowing and telling yourself that I'm perfect and whole and complete as I am right now. That I'm not lacking or missing anything. You know?
yeah, no, the language, it's actually reprogramming the way you talk about and perceive yourself.
Right.
So instead of saying I need to lose 10 more pounds, it's I feel really great for having lost the 30 pounds I already have. I look great. I feel wonderful. I'm going to go do my jogging. I'm going to go do that. So it puts you in that mindset of putting you into things that are going to help you lose that 10 pounds anyway.
Mhm.
Whereas if you're focusing on, I got 10 more pounds to go, it's like, oh, I want that piece of chocolate.
Mhm.
You
It's
see what-
okay to have chocolate. You just can't
Yeah.
eat, 10
Have the
bars
whole,
or
yeah.
I made cinnamon rolls today. I haven't made cinnamon rolls in ages, and I wanted to eat every single one of them, and I was just like,
They look
Yeah.
great,
They
Teresa.
They did look amazing,
great.
by the way.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
good.
they
But
were
don't
good.
eat it with guilt. So,
No,
just
don't
don't
ever
do
eat
the
with
guilt
guilt,
thing.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ate it.
No.
Yep. Okay, I got another question for you. How about this one? How do you keep an open mind? How about you, Jules? How do you keep an open mind?
Oh, gee, I don't know if I can answer that.
Really?
Try us.
Yeah.
Like the angles. What I've been saying, I didn't go to uni for 1 degree. I'm open to every angle of it, and that's being fluid. Then you're not just an angle, you're fluid. So of course I can sit and not respond to a lot of things. I'm not saying what anyone's saying is right or wrong. It's just maybe not my actual, how I might do something. Right.
Don't
So
assume or have judgment.
No,
Yeah.
and it is a biggie.
Yeah.
I know you're a human being. You are being,
Mhm.
and that is one of the things. Is judgment's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing because, especially
it is.
Teresa and I had a chat the other about being defensive. Like someone's picking on you and you want to respond back to it.
Yeah.
Well, the easiest is to not say anything. And that's what I'm learning to do. And
Just
that's
being
why I was going to
quiet.
say, I'm not going to say nothing.
It is so powerful when you do that
It
because
is.
people are like, what is she thinking? What is going on in her mind?
That's right.
And it's like, you're just
And my-
observing.
my
You're
husband-
not judging. Yep.
Yeah, my husband's a good teacher of that. I've learned so much in this 40 years just looking at my husband.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's
I love that. That's so-
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it might have
brilliant.
taken 40 years, but I've certainly learned
but you're
something.
there. Crystal, how do you keep an open mind?
Well, when I was a kid, it was psychedelics.
That'll do it.
You know, I did mushrooms and
That will do it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was born with an open mind. I was born pretty much with my pineal gland open already.
Mhm.
And so I can't imagine my mind at any point ever being closed. So it's like second nature to me. It's part of my nature. I wouldn't even say it's second nature. It's like my first nature to be open. When evidence is provided to me and it resonates with me, and it could go against what I've already come to believe in, it's okay. Like I can take the information in and I can leave what doesn't resonate. And it's not bad. I don't judge it as good or bad. It's just not resonating with me. It does not make it bad. That's like people. Like when someone doesn't resonate with me, doesn't mean they're bad.
No,
It just means I don't
they
jazz with
resonate.
you.
Yeah, that's all right. It's
And
all
I
good.
love you, but I just over there because we're just not gonna be meshing well together. And that doesn't mean I'm a jerk. Doesn't mean you're a jerk. It just means we're just not gonna be doing
You know what you know.
Yeah.
You know where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, so keeping an open mind. I definitely take the steps of I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't listen to the news. I don't really. I mean, okay, I admit I just binged watched Stranger Things. I did, but I don't like. But that was like something.
But it's not 24/7. Yeah,
like I haven't binge watched anything in so many years. I can't even think of when's the last time I've done something like that. Probably since like 1997.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have downtime too because you need to recharge your batteries.
Yeah.
And sometimes focusing on something like that allows you to do it, but just not 24/7.
Yeah. So definitely keeping an open mind. Just I can't even answer that because that's been my motto since birth. So
gotcha. Trina, how about you? How do you keep an open mind?
By realizing everything that I thought was bullshit. And it just made me just realize, man, what you think you know something, and then you realize you didn't know nothing about nothing. Then it's like, oh, I better just not even just take any of this stuff as it's, the end all be all, because it's not. Because I've had my mind blown sideways so many times to where, keep an open mind. It's just gonna just be better.
Steve Clark said, I learned to not worry about things and take care of what needs to be taken care of, like my horses and my dogs. Even comes to me when it's supposed to. Things come to him when they're supposed to. He's right. That's what I've been fighting, Steve.
Divine timing.
I've been getting angry with divine.
Angry with divine timing. Because
you're trying to force instead of receive.
Exactly, Trina.
And as soon as you surrender,
but I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. You see, it wasn't purpose. I just
absolutely
it took 3 days of 3 days of a meeting of my various minds, my physical, my higher mind, and my higher self, having a powwow through meditation to get those answers. And it came to me, and I said, "Oh, Lori, look at what I've been doing."
You know how many people aren't willing to just have a powwow with themselves, that they're so distracted by the TV, the news, the job, the kids, the school, the this, the that they don't have they can't get into a powwow with themselves. So it's tremendous that you even have the ability to powwow with yourself.
Yeah, well, I can do it more often if I choose to. I've been choosing not to because I've been probably victimizing, playing the victim out of the frustration of not getting what I want.
Yeah,
Right.
done it. I've done it.
Right.
I've done it. I've been
So
there.
I hate to say it, but I don't care how old you are. I think that the physical mind's a child.
Right.
Yeah.
It acts like a child.
I've
I
got,
want it now.
yeah, right. Like
Or no,
garage.
That's
money
the
and I want
ego.
it now.
Yeah.
J.C.
I mean-
Wentworth commercial. Like.
Yeah, I've got Steve Clark knocking on the door here, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in.
Yeah,
Good.
bring him in.
Bring him
Yeah.
in. Bring him in.
Are
Bring
you
him
there,
in.
Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
He has limited bandwidth, so he may or may not make it in. Depends.
Yeah.
Just heard a choo-choo train.
Yeah.
I did too.
All
A
right.
choo-choo train?
I
Really?
heard a choo-choo.
Uh-huh. I heard
Okay.
a locomotive whistle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying. All right, so I'm gonna move on here because we don't have a good connection. It looks like, and I can't.
Oh, I'm so
Steve, can you
sorry.
hear us at all, Steve? It's a
He's
shame.
probably coming in on his phone. He came in
Yeah.
on Scotty's the other night with me.
Gotcha.
About a little over a week ago, we were both on Scotty's together, and he was able to come in. So it just
Gotcha.
depends on his bandwidth, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. Next question. How do you maintain a neutral mind? How do you maintain a neutral mind? How about you, Teresa? How do you maintain a neutral mind?
Going into neutral?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple things. I'm like Mandy. I get into my rocks and stones. When I'm doing something like I said, like my painting or my rocks or my stones, I just, if that's what you mean, temporarily. If you mean how do you become neutral about all this,
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest with you. I'm either full on, I want, or I'm like, I surrender. You know, I haven't found that neutral where I'm just like, okay, whatever you say, universe. Because I've been at this for a year and a half. I've been making a comeback into a life for a year and a half. And so that might seem like a long time to some people. To me, it's a short time when you take a look at my whole life.
Right.
So I think I've come a long way in a short time. But I don't know how to put the car in park, Lori.
Mm. So what happens is with the neutral mind, because think about this, when you start thinking thoughts and you're putting it out in the universe, whether it's good or bad, the universe is going to give you all of that and probably more. Okay. So if you can be more neutral and not think about, here's a good example. Sometimes you'll say you're driving down the road and you get a negative thought in your mind and you're like, God, where did that come from? Or why am I thinking that? I think just noticing that you had a negative thought and you're like, okay, I can let that go. I can kind of push that aside. And then what I would do is in turn, I would just have a positive thought on top of that one. And I'd let that be the last thought in my mind. So I'd be like, why am I thinking about that? I don't care. I'm pushing that over so that you can maintain that neutral mind.
Okay.
And you're not constantly getting the negative, oh, I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Well, you can't just keep going over that in your mind because that's not going to change the situation. Worrying's not going to change anything. But what will change the situation is having a positive thought and reinforcing those thoughts with good things and not the bad.
So that's what neutral means. I didn't know that, Steve. So what I call it transmuting.
Mm-hmm.
It's alchemy of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You flip the switch. I've done that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute. I'm in negative. I'm on 0. I want to go to 1.
Right.
So I change that thought. And it could be moment to moment. It could be something. I opened up a piece of mail and it was
But
bad
realize
news,
you're thinking it and just go, okay, now I realize what's going on. Okay.
and let it go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then go, I don't need that. It's okay. Like this morning, I'm driving
I
to
go,
work.
cancel.
I have a couple of situations. Yeah, I love that. I do control
Cancel.
alt
Cancel.
delete. Control alt delete. Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I do that.
Cancel.
And I just don't put any like
I like that.
expectation about what that thought's going to be. I just control
let it
alt
go.
delete. It's gone.
Yeah.
I don't fuel
It's
my
permanently.
emotions. I don't fuel the thoughts with emotion.
Right.
That's what keeps me neutral. I
Mhm.
won't give it the emotion that it's
Right.
looking for.
Right,
I'll just be, you know how the kid is like, mama, 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 and you're like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
yeah.
living in
That's
the
how I stay
moment, you
neutral.
know? Yeah, you're living in the moment. You're just taking it as
I've
it
been
comes.
doing more of that over the past month. I have, because there's reasons I could be really
Your
Mhm.
desires are like,
and
mama,
I'm
mama, mama, and you're like,
flip, not going
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Not doing it.
exactly. Okay, last one, you guys. We're running a little late. But that's okay. It's Friday.
okay, it's good.
How do you manifest thoughts? How are you creating thoughts that manifest in your life? How do you manifest something?
Imagination,
I
art,
like
The
that.
question, what would it
Yeah.
take for this and what would it take for that to happen? Because the
Mhm.
universe will give it to you in a certain way that you might not have thought it was going to happen.
Ooh, that's
Yes.
brilliant,
Yes.
Diane.
Absolutely.
And I've watched that unfold, and you go, oh,
Me
what's
too.
right about this that I don't get? And then it is the right. You got what you asked for, and so it's what's right about it, not what's wrong with it.
Mhm.
So that's really is staying. Wow, what would it take for this to turn up, and then next minute it's there? Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And with no
it's just-
resistance.
Yeah, and
You
letting
just-
go of the outcome. That's what it
Right.
is you ask and you let go of the outcome, because it'll come to a way, because
Mhm.
you might, like I used to say to these, when I was in the shop, I used to say to the old girls, now you want a partner, you want a partner, you want a partner, but you don't go anywhere to find a partner. So you happen to go out in your car, you have an accident. Oh, that's bad. No, you go to the hospital, the nurse looks after you, you find your partner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that too.
It is.
Oh,
It absolutely
totally
is.
That's
like that.
interesting.
That's what I mean,
You
but
know?
that's where most people get stuck, is they can't trust that what they're wanting is going to actually show up in their life. But if they actually do
Exactly.
trust, when you actually trust, you don't put the limitations on it as well either. Like if you're saying I need a new car and it's got to be blue, no, there's
Right.
no, it might show up and be not anything that you thought, but it's always going to be better. So you got to just trust that it might show up a little bit different than you thought, but it's going to
Mhm.
show up, because if you're in alignment with it, you will receive it. But don't put limitations on manifestation. Let it surprise you with the brilliance of it knowing more than you do.
Yeah.
And that's that trust and surrendering in the universe. See, and that's really hard for people to let themselves do that.
Last
People have a
year
hard
was
time
like-
trusting themselves.
Last year was the hugest cosmic lesson in trust. I mean, my whole life has been, but it accumulated last year into this ultimate symphony of, this is it, girl.
Yeah.
Pay attention to this trust. That it was like, trust this relationship that you have right here.
Oh,
Right.
Just a second, folks.
Go ahead.
I wanted to welcome Candy Apple, Deborah Sloan,
Hi, Candy.
Robert,
Hi, Candy.
Robert B.
Hi,
Happy
Robert.
belated
Hi, Robert.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy belated birthday,
Happy
Robert.
belated birthday
To you.
I sang him
Awesome.
happy birthday.
Yeah.
I got to ask. See, I've been putting out that I wanted some passion fruit kombucha, and
Delish.
Lizzie's just given it to me.
Oh,
See?
delicious.
Right
There's your
on.
love it.
manifest- And you had no idea she had that for you?
Oh, I had been asking for it, and then she said it's
Oh,
in the
okay.
fridge.
Tony.
It's
Oh,
in the fridge.
Delicious.
Yeah,
And
but you were
and she's
asking.
just I had put it out for it, and she's made it for me. And
There you go. Start
because,
simply. Yeah.
yep,
Simple
that's it.
things like that. Yeah. Test
That's it.
yourself. You know?
I'd put out for a cauldron, and it was found one on the pile of junk.
Yeah.
I love it when things like that happen.
That's so
Oh,
awesome.
and guess who we
I
have?
wanted a hope chest, and I found one too on the side of the road.
Yay.
Wow.
We have a
Yeah.
new chat member here. Uh-huh.
Have we?
The Crazy Crystal Alchemist.
Hi, crazy crystal alchemist.
I wonder who
Welcome.
that is. Hello, Mandy.
I knew it. I love that. That's great. Well, it's been a
I
really good
love
discussion, you guys. We're
It's been
or you
awesome.
Thank
gals.
you.
We're an hour
Thank
and a half
you.
into the show. I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and it's such an awesome Pleasure to
discussion.
be with all of you guys. Yeah, the discussion was great. And I hope it gave people in chat and people who are watching, a little bit more to go on what enlightenment is and what this is all about.
Oh, Steve didn't know how to turn the camera off. That he was in the waiting room and he was trying to figure out how. It's
Yeah.
the, yeah, we have to walk him through that sometime.
We'll have to walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
stop trying. We'll try again for sure.
Yeah,
Well, he
we'll
can
try
come in.
again.
When the show finishes, we could talk him through it, maybe.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds
Yes.
good.
Yeah,
Post-show.
yes, yeah, we could try that.
Yeah. But for now, we've
Yep.
come to the end of the show and want to thank everybody for joining us, and much love and peace and serenity to everybody. And thank you to everybody that's with us tonight. So
So many
Much
hugs
love.
to each
Yes,
and every one
yes.
of you.
to all.
Manifest well with the power of
Yeah.
3. Faith,
Right
trust,
on. Right
and
on.
pixie
Trust.
dust.
Man,